I'm going to tell you the story of the last American still standing on the battlefield. No backup, no way out, just him and hundreds of enemies closing in. This isn't a movie, this really happened. May 2nd, 1968, late afternoon. A rescue helicopter bumps onto a jungle clearing that looks more like a junkyard. Trees are shredded, smoke hangs like a dirty curtain, and bodies lie everywhere. Two medics jump out and climb a small mound of earth. On top is an American soldier in torn green fatigues, skin gray, eyes half open but empty. A medic checks for breathing. Nothing. He waves the flight surgeon over. The doctor drags a rubber body bag, unzips it, and slides the limp man halfway inside. Suddenly the corpse coughs, gathers spit, and launches it straight into the doctor's face. Everyone freezes. The doctor shouts, "This one's alive!" The man's name is Roy Benavidez, and what kept him breathing will keep you listening. Roy is born in 1935 near Cuero, Texas, to poor Mexican-American sharecroppers. His father dies of tuberculosis when Roy is 2. His mother dies of the same disease when he is 7. He and his kid brother move in with an aunt and uncle who already have 8 children. Their wood frame house has newspapers stuffed in the wall gaps to block cold wind. By dawn, Roy walks 5 miles to pick sugar beets for pennies, then walks back for school, then returns to the fields until sunset. At 13, he tells himself, "Pain is normal, quitting is a choice." He never forgets that line. At 17, Roy forges his uncle's signature and joins the Texas National Guard. Regular meals taste like a miracle. In 1955, he switches to active-duty Army and ships to Germany. On night guard, he studies every manual he can find: first aid, demolitions, radio code, because he believes knowledge is free body armor. In 1959, he hears whispers about a new elite group, the Special Forces, the Green Berets. These soldiers learn languages, melt into foreign villages, and fight behind enemy lines. Roy is 5'6" and 140 pounds, but he trains anyway, running highways at midnight, doing push-ups behind the barracks. In 1965, he earns the coveted green cap and deploys to Vietnam. 6 months into his first tour, Roy steps on a landmine. The blast shreds both legs and throws him onto his back. Surgeons in Saigon patch him, but say he will need crutches for life. They start medical discharge papers. Roy sees the future he escaped, back-breaking beet fields, and decides no. At night, he crawls out of bed, drags himself to a wall, and fights to stand. He falls, ripping stitches, but keeps trying until nurses threaten to tie him down. Within a year, he can jog. 2 years later, he passes the brutal requalification course and ships back to war. Lac Ninh Camp, near the Cambodian border. It is a sticky Sunday morning. Roy attends a field chapel service where the chaplain reads, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." Roy pockets a tiny Bible, grabs watery coffee, and plans to clean weapons. At 10:30 a.m., the radio explodes with panic. A 12-man recon unit, call sign Spike Team Louisiana, has slipped across the border to watch enemy supply routes. Now, they are pinned down by hundreds of North Vietnamese soldiers. Gunfire crackles over the net, then the line goes faint. Someone yells, "We're surrounded!" 2 rescue attempts fail. One helicopter limps back riddled with holes. Another never returns. Pilots hesitate. Roy does not. He slams his coffee cup down, races to the flight line, and grabs a medical bag, 2 canteens, and his 9-inch Bowie knife. No body armor, no helmet, no time. A crew chief points at Roy's t-shirt and shouts, "Sergeant, you're going in like that?" Roy grins. "Let's go get my boys." Lieutenant Adams guns the engine. Rotor wash blasts dust everywhere. As the Huey lifts, Roy checks his gear. 1 aid kit, 1 knife, unlimited determination. The Huey skims the treetops. Enemy tracers rise in green lines. The door gunner replies in red. Inside, rounds thud through thin metal, rattling the cabin like hail on a tin roof. 1 bullet cracks the windshield and slices a groove across the pilot's helmet. Underneath, Roy sees yellow smoke, friendlies. The pilot hovers 30 feet above the clearing. Landing is suicide. Roy doesn't wait. He jumps. He slams into elephant grass, rolls, and comes up running. Machine gun bullets snap inches from his ears. He sprints 40 meters to Staff Sergeant Frenchy Mousseau, down with a bullet in the thigh. As Roy drags him, a round tears through Roy's right calf. He ignores the pain, pulls Frenchie behind a termite mound, slaps on a bandage, and runs back into fire. He lifts a second wounded man over one shoulder, stagger runs to cover, then a third. A grenade explodes behind him, peppering his back with hot steel. Smoke burns his eyes. Still he keeps moving, the only medic on the field, the only man who can still sprint. The battle becomes a nightmare loop. Roy injects morphine with one hand and fires an M16 with the other. When ammo runs dry, he crawls to fallen enemies, grabs their AK-47s, and hands the rifles to half-conscious teammates. A mortar round splits a tree and showers him with splinters. A bayonet stabs his left side, puncturing a lung. He kills the attacker with one slash of his knife, then presses his chest to the dirt to push air out so he can breathe again. A bullet shatters his jaw. Speech gone, but not command. He uses hand signals. Point here, move there, hold fire. Helicopters try to land, take hits, pull away. Roy waves them back with bloody arms. Try again! For 6 hours, he hauls, patches, shoots, prays. By late afternoon, only 4 men besides him can still move. And still, the radio crackles. Enemies closing, need extraction. Near dusk, a Huey finally touches down. Roy drags bodies to the skid, lifts each man in. He climbs aboard last to provide covering fire. At 20 feet altitude, a burst of enemy rounds shreds the engine. The helicopter spins, clips trees, and slams into a ravine, exploding into flame. Roy kicks a bent window frame, crawls out, and hauls the pilot free. Ammunition cooks off inside the wreck. Roy forms a shaky perimeter with whoever can still hold a weapon. He finds a broken PRC-25 radio, strips wires with his knife, twists copper to battery posts, and calls for help again. Enemy soldiers close in. Roy pops a smoke grenade, a green cloud marking both target and lifeline. Minutes feel like hours, then the sky shakes. A big twin-rotor CH-47. Chinook thunders in, escorted by gunships spraying rockets. Roy shoulders the last wounded man, staggers up the ramp, and collapses. Inside, he counts rosary beads with bloody fingers, whispering prayers for families who will soon get telegrams. When the Chinook lands at Loch Ninh, Roy waves stretcher bearers away. Take them first. Only after every teammate is inside the triage tent does he pass out. His heart quits twice on the table. Surgeons cut open his chest, massage the heart, restart it. Doctors list 37 separate wounds, 7 bullets, 2 bayonet cuts, a grenade's worth of shrapnel, a broken jaw, a collapsed lung, and a calf torn by gunfire. They pump 12 pints of blood into him, more than his body holds. A priest reads last rites. For a week, Roy hovers half alive. When he wakes, he cannot talk, so he mouths one word again and again. Team. A nurse answers. They made it. Tears slide down his swollen face. Years pass. Paperwork stalls, eyewitnesses petition Congress, and finally, in 1981, Roy stands in the White House Rose Garden. President Ronald Reagan reads the Medal of Honor citation, a long summary of impossible acts. Then Reagan looks at reporters and jokes, "If this were a movie, you wouldn't believe it." Roy, in a crisp dress uniform, steps to the mic. His jaw still aches, voice rasps, but words are clear. "I am here only because someone prayed for me, and because I had men who would not leave me." Cameras click. The nation meets a hero it never knew it had. Retirement does not slow Roy. He drives a beat-up blue pickup across America, visiting schools, prisons, and bases. He holds his battered Green Beret in one hand, the medal in the other, like twin lanterns. His speech is slurred, but kids lean forward. "Stay in school," he says. "Education is the key." To gang members, he says, "Real courage isn't pulling a trigger, it's pulling yourself out of bed when nobody believes in you." Audiences cry, laugh, and line up for handshakes. Each visit ends the same. Roy slips outside, sits in the truck, and thanks God for giving a farm boy purpose. Roy Benavidez dies in 1998 from diabetes complications. At Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery, an honor guard folds the flag and hands it to his daughter. F-16 jets roar overhead in missing man formation. Veterans salute. School children wave small flags. Even former enemy soldiers send letters. One Vietnamese officer writes, "I was there. Your father fought like a tiger." A bronze statue now stands on base. Roy in jungle fatigues, rifle cradled, eyes forward, beret tilted. It looks ready to step off the pedestal the moment somebody yells, "Help!" Roy's story is not about superhuman strength. He was smaller than most high school linebackers. It is about choice. The choice to run toward friends when everyone else runs away. The choice to stand up after explosions, bullets, and doubt knock you flat. When life feels like it is zipping you into a dark body bag, dreams dismissed, hopes buried, remember the spit that shocked a doctor back to wonder. Remember the orphan who became a legend. Remember Roy Benavidez, the last American still fighting. Share this story with someone ready to quit. Let them feel the heat of a jungle they have never seen and hear the heartbeat of a man who refused to die. Courage is contagious. Spread it and watch ordinary people do extraordinary things.